Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor with the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. On behalf of Alaska Public Media, welcome to Hangar Flying. This evening, we are honored to have Roger Motzgo back on the show. Roger is the Technical Services Manager in the Air Traffic Organization's Safety and Technical Training Unit with the Federal Aviation Administration. Mr. Motzgo, welcome back to Hangar Flying.
Thanks, Mary. I appreciate being here.
The Federal Aviation Administration's Air Traffic Organization has a top 5 that the agency focuses on every year. Can you tell us what the top 5 is, and how does the FAA determine what it is and what needs improving?
So, Mary, we look at risk analysis every single day, every moment of every day. And we've got a comprehensive electronic data analysis and reporting system. And so when something goes not as well as we would like it to, or someone sees something that maybe should be fixed in the system, they'll type in that information. So there's over 7,000 pieces of that information collected every single week through various reports. Our quality assurance group then looks at it every single morning, and then they filter through that and they look for additional information in order to better describe the problems, and then that comes up. And of course, once a year, we culminate and we try to focus on those things that we could best do in order to improve the aviation system. And so, of course, we're looking at those that happen very regularly or those that have great consequence. So we use the NTSB reports, accident reports and incident reports. We use the Aviation Airborne Safety Reporting System. We use a surface risk reporting system. And of course, we use our own internal investigation system to identify those things which create the greatest risk in the system. So we try to come up with just 5 each year so that we can focus on them.
That's a lot of filtering down to just 5 issues, because it sounds like you're looking at everything from air traffic control interactions with pilots to ground to pilot individual flight decisions which may be made, or mistakes that may be made, and taking all that information and filtering it down to just 5.
So those 5 are pretty comprehensive. For example, this year, our number 1 is weather dissemination. So if you look at weather dissemination, why is that important? Well, getting PIREPs from pilots, critical. And of course, we're all guilty of probably not giving weather when we could have, because we're either too busy or we don't understand the format. So a big push is to, number 1, help pilots remember to give that information, and 2, then to pass it back out again so that pilots are best advised of their weather situation, current weather situation. The second in that is surface memory aids. So as we taxi along the ground, we think that air traffic control knows exactly who we are by first name, of course, and they can see the 2-inch letters that are on the tail number. And of course, that's not true, but they track us both mentally, spatially, and then they track us by blocks of information that they have in the tower cab. Well, they also have surface memory aids to remind them that maybe a particular surface is closed or where you need to stop, that the runway is occupied. And so you're helping as a pilot in communicating to air traffic your location, your exact location, correct location, and who you are, helps to remind them of those surface memory aids and when to use them and when to remove them. And so that's a big thing in preventing runway incursions, of course.
Sure.
And then a third is VFR separation. So we've all been in the pattern when they say you're number 5 behind the blue and white Cessna. And of course, knowing where you are in that system is particularly important, creating separation. And so air traffic controllers trying to visually determine where you are, who you are. Again, pretty difficult to read your end number as you're flying along in the pattern, but able to observe that separation and then use the technology that they're afforded in the towers these days. Not a lot of it, maybe just enough. And then we're asking controllers to both look at a 2D dimensional display, then look back out into the 3D world and reacquire you. It's a lot of work. And so providing that separation is one of the things that we're working on in training, both training systems and helping controllers to understand. And of course, we do that with our forensic animations. Fourth in that system is giving you an adequate vector. So once a pilot gets launched, of course, what do we want? We want a heading and an altitude. And if we have a heading and an altitude, we feel pretty safe. And so we're working with air traffic controllers to maybe better understand, and it would help if pilots would communicate when maybe I'm not sure of my assigned vector, or maybe I haven't heard from you in a little while, and I really wish that I would, particularly in the terminal environment. And so pipe up and say that, identify yourself and what it is that we need so that we can provide those vectors. The last one, of course, is judgment, and that's pretty difficult to add without experience. And so the shared judgment that you do in your safety seminars where air traffic controllers get together along with pilots and are able to discuss those things that are common to each other, vitally important. So education adds to judgment, and you, of course, provide that in the fall and spring safety seminar. So we hope to see everyone there.
Well, we hope to have you there as well. Thank you for being our guest. It's been a real pleasure and honor to have you on the show. I can see where some of these things that are nationwide problems are particularly important for Alaska. So absolutely, we will be working on that in our seminar.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope this helps highlight some of the people that work behind the scenes to make aviation safer in Alaska. We thank the FAA and their support of the Foundation in their efforts to improve safety. Until next time, fly safely.